Hey y'all, this is Dr. Martha Durham. I'm a psychologist here in Greenville, South Carolina. This is another episode of Why Did They Do That, the podcast. And I'm here with my friend and residential builder, Mike Barber, who has done some renovations for me.
That's right.
Some kind of new build stuff for me.
Absolutely.
Lots of stuff for me.
I like it.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about something he knows a lot about as a man and a builder. Can I call you a builder right now?
Sure, right. I build things.
You build things.
Right.
Okay. And my husband gnashed his teeth when I told him this topic. And here's the topic. Why can't I finish jobs in my own home that I started?
Yes.
That's one part of it. And why don't I want other men or builders to come in and do a job in my house?
Ooh, that's tough.
Tell me why. Because
There's some good reasons.
women want to know.
Right. Well, let's start.
And we love y'all.
Well, thank you. We love you too.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first question. Like, why can't I finish, things that I start in my home? Right.
Yes.
So I'll share this from a personal perspective because I do this for a living. I remodel people's homes and, that kind of stuff.
And very well. He's very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I spend all my days inside other people's homes creating these awesome projects that they've, dreamed up and things like that. And so at the end of the day, I go home and I look at my house. And there's not so much progress being made there, right? I've got a lot of space that I want to do things with myself, and I know how to do it. Yeah. So I tell myself I'm going to take care of this, bathroom this weekend, or work on my basement. We're building out a basement.
Oh, cool.
We want to finish that out, and I've done some basements for others.
Yes.
So. It's great because while I'm working on other people's homes, I can use that as kind of a chalkboard for my own home.
Yeah, you get some great ideas.
What goes well, what people are picking out, and things like that. It gives me great ideas. So I go home super excited, and I tell my wife, hey, I worked on this today.
Tina's his wife.
Yes, I worked on this today, and this is a great idea. We should do this in our basement. Let's go down and take a look, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And we'll go down there, and I'll show her this vision, and she'll get really excited, and then she'll say, when are you going to do it?
Right.
And I feel all the pain in my back from the day before and the money that has gone into some of these projects. And I tell her, I'm not so sure when I'm going to be able to do this. So
you gave me a light bulb moment right then. And I thought, hey, Mike, why'd you tell her about it?
Yeah, because I get excited. I know that she gets excited about it too. So I see all these things happening in other people's homes. And I know that she would love to see the same thing in ours. So I get excited about it. I know how to do it. So I have some confidence. Yeah. And I can't withhold good news from people. Yes. So I tell her, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And she gets really excited about it too. And then she wants to get it done.
And then it becomes a list. It's on a list for her.
Yes.
And then there are deadlines.
Yes.
Are there some jobs you don't start?
Yeah, because here's what happens, and a lot of people probably experience this as well. You have this great idea, and it doesn't have to be something grand like a basement. It could be your laundry room or something like that. And you Pinterest some stuff and you find some good ideas, and you think, oh, well, that's only going to cost me $100 to do that. It's probably going to take a couple hours.
Does anything ever cost $100?
Well, that's part of the point. That's part of the point. There's so sometimes a disconnect in what people perceive to be the expense in doing something versus the actual, when everything rolls up, what it's actually going to cost in the end.
Do you do that? Because I think people do that to you. Like, I remember thinking, oh, this will be easy and it'll cost this much. And you're like, no, you're wrong. And then I see the real budget and I'm like, I was so wrong. Do you actually underestimate that stuff?
Sometimes, when I first started doing this, sometimes yes. I do like to plan pretty extensively. So
he's very organized.
Yeah.
You want an organized builder.
Yeah. So
he's a little OCD. You want an OCD builder.
And that's the other part of it too, because I'm a little OCD about that stuff. Yeah. I always assume kind of the worst going in. Like, I think it's going to cost $100 for this. I better put $200 aside. Yeah. Stuff like that, right? And with clients, for sure. How many times have you texted me and on the back, and I'm like, oh, Martha.
Too many. With too many ideas. Because I have ADHD.
Yeah, but it works out. It's a balance.
You're very kind, because I'm sure there are times when he wants to tell me what he really thinks about me and my questions, and he doesn't.
Well,
Thank you.
I think there's some things better left not said. So.
Well, and I think we know each other well enough at this point that you could say things and I would hear them.
And I have, I have, and I'm not afraid to help homeowners with that same kind of situation as well. I mean, I'm in a home right now, and they had great ideas for what they want to do, and I have to tell them, I can certainly do that, but it's going to cost quite a bit more than what you think it's going to cost, and here's why. So this goes back to, why don't you finish your own stuff at home? You go to that laundry room and you're thinking, I'm going to put in some cabinetry here or whatever, and you start screwing into what you think is a stud, and it's a vent pipe, or it's a plumbing line, and you don't know those things are there. Because you don't know what to expect inside of a laundry room. So you end up creating a problem that is just going to grow exponentially. You know? And sometimes in an emergency situation, you hit a water line, oh, good night.
That's really bad.
Yeah, it is
Have you ever done that in your own home?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I've had people working for me, apprentices and things like that, who, much like homeowners, didn't really do this for a living, whatever, and they've hit some things or whatever, and it's fixable if you know how to fix it.
We have a story from this building. So Mike did some renovations in this building, which is my office, and you couldn't do very many here because it's old and we needed to stay within code, and so you're just doing cosmetic things, and somehow a ceiling fell in, and it was water related.
Right.
And we don't really know what happened there. Old pipes, what do you
I know what happened there.
Tell me what happened there.
I had to find the source of that problem. So before you had moved into this space, and this is, again, kind of like in the home DIY kind of mindset, upstairs.
Someone else, not us.
Yeah, an upstairs bathroom, they put a new vanity in. But the water valve stub outs were not very, they were old, right? So they weren't really up to code, and so they didn't know what they were doing. So they put some fittings on there that weren't designed for the original plumbing, and those fittings failed, and it started leaking slowly, and that ultimately led to a lot of wood rot, things like that, and actually finally one of those fittings bursted. So that's what caused that flooding, and your whole second story, almost half of that second story, got flooded. And
we had to get that repaired. But I'm talking about something else. Do you remember the original, before we moved in, that same ceiling caved in? Do you remember from the old shower?
Right.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
We're not talking about the same thing.
No, that's right. So you had
two.
The first shower
was a DIY thing too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I think that's the common theme. Is DIY. You have some confidence. You don't have the knowledge. What do people do? They go to YouTube and start looking at, hey, how can I do this? And the thing that sucks about YouTube is, it's very helpful.
It's very helpful
in many ways.
And it can suck.
But it's generic. It's very generalized. People on, influencers and folks like that on YouTube don't know your exact home, your exact situation, and what is needed to accomplish what you're looking to get done.
All those things you can find behind walls, like you were talking about in the laundry room.
Right. So I do have a lot of homeowners that I've done work for call me on the side and say, hey, I know you know my home and what I'm doing. I want to do a little project myself.
Yes.
Can you help me?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So let's talk about that, because I think this is really cool. So Mike is now starting a little bit of a consulting business.
That's right.
Where you could come to him and say, I want to do this, and he will give you a lot of scaffolding to help you by being a consultant for you on the job, right?
That's
Am I getting that right?
Right. And it was born out of, this common fact, right? I spend a lot of time in homes anyway.
Yes.
And I do a job, I remodel the bathroom, I leave, and then 6 months later, the homeowner will call me up and say, hey, I want to do a certain project myself. I think I can handle it myself.
Yeah.
It's not super huge, but a few things I'm not too sure about. Yeah. Can you kind of guide me?
Yeah.
My family does that.
Yes.
They call me all the time. My brother remodeled his bathroom.
And they expect to not have to pay you for it.
No, they do not pay me for it.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
It's okay.
So, I started offering a service, a DIY consultation service with different tiers of engagement, right? Yeah. So it can be done completely remotely through video calls and things like that, where I'll get with you and I'll assess what your project is and what you're trying to accomplish. And I'll come up with a game plan for you, a tool list, everything that you need to get the job done. Send you some resources. We can have some video calls or text messaging throughout the process. You can send me pictures of what you're doing, and I'll help guide you, make sure you get it done right. That saves people a few things, right? A lot of money on hiring a contractor, right? But it also gives you confidence and assurance of knowing that you're going to be doing it right.
Yes.
Because somebody is kind of in your corner.
Well, so if you think about the psychology of the question we're asking, I want to talk about that a little bit, like why people would not finish a project. With your business now that you're trying to launch or you've launched, it also helps with that pride part. So they are doing the DIY, but they do have an expert who knows their particular thing.
Right.
I think for a lot of people, pride gets involved. Like you want to do this job and then the job's too big or the job's too expensive or too time consuming and you never get it done.
Yeah.
And then you're embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and you have friends coming over and you want to show them a space, but you're not done with it yet. And so you feel a little...
And your wife's mad at you.
Yeah, but she's supportive and she says, oh, honey, I understand. You'll get it done whenever you can.
She's not like me. She is not like me. Doug's watching this and Doug knows. I'm like, come on now. So that leads me to something else.
Yeah.
Doug also, in my family, so my husband can build some things. He doesn't build like you build, but he can do some things. And he does not want someone else to come in and do anything in his house. Y'all have gotten into a good place where he trusts you. But so a lot of men don't want that. They don't want another person to come into their space and build something or finish something.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on there?
Well, I think maybe there's, I may be wrong, but there's kind of an alpha component to that.
Thank you.
It's like it's my home.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And, you know, if something's going to get done, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm going to be the one to do it.
Right.
You know? So there's a little bit of that at play, right? Yeah. But I think, you know, for me as a contractor, I understand that and I respect that. Yeah. So when I'm approaching a situation like that with Doug, I know the mindset already. You know? Yes. I think that's a big part of it.
You're psychologically savvy. And I think that good builders or residential contractors really need to understand humans. Yeah. If you want to get that job done. And a male understanding another male, that's very important. And you try really hard to understand me, the female with ADHD, who has lots of ideas that maybe you're crazy, but I don't care. Yeah. I can say my ideas, right?
Sure.
I think you have to know all that. You have to know people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's probably the key there is knowing who you're working with. Yes. Right? Trying to understand and see it from their perspective. Yeah. Knowing that you're really no different than me at the end of the day. Yeah. We, you know, we're both homeowners. We both have other jobs. We, you know, are under our own set of stresses and things like that. Right. So there's no need for me to come in there and say, well, that's a stupid idea, Martha. You know,
you want to say it. I know you want to say it. But that's really lovely.
I say that to Tina.
Yes. You say to Tina, Martha had a really stupid idea. And then I say to Doug, he's on my nerves. He's not doing what I want him to do. I'm kidding, Mike. Don't worry about that. Mike is going to worry about that now.
No, I'm not.
The look on his face.
No, but Tina says, but you'll explain it to her in a way that is nice and educational. And of course I will.
I hope Tina doesn't think I'm a pain in the ass.
Not at all. Okay, no. She's like, is that Martha? You better take that call.
Yeah, that's right. She probably thinks you're a pain in the ass for those jobs you haven't finished.
Yeah,
what do you think, Tina?
We've talked about that this past week. So I got the list. I'm now using my son to help me get some of that stuff done. Cole. So that's another, right? Yeah. So that's another thing to think about if you got projects around the house. Yeah. You know, who do you trust that's not a contractor that you could utilize to help you knock out a few things? Yeah. But if you do have something that's pretty much a little bit above your skill level, it's best to get somebody involved.
It is. And here's another part of the psychology of that. I think it's hard for some people, and I want to say men, but it's hard for all people to admit something's above their skill level. Like for some reason, it makes some people feel really uncomfortable. And I feel like part of the work there is understanding I'm just not an expert in that. Right. I need to hire someone who's an expert. Like I'm only an expert in this. I'm an expert in people and helping people. I'm not really good at other things. Yeah. And let me tell you something. If Doug ever asked me to help him finish a job, he's not going to be happy because I'm going to do a bad job. Right. Tina doesn't help you, does she?
No.
Yeah,
no,
she doesn't want to
offers,
either.
Though.
She does? Tina, what's wrong with you?
Because she cares about me. You know,
well, I care about Doug, but I don't
about
want
my
to.
mental health.
Whatever. I don't want to lift heavy things and hammer things. I'm going to get injured.
Well, that's good. We don't want anybody injured.
And I get injured. So Tina's got a little more skill than I do, is what I'm thinking.
Well, so the deal is, if Tina is helping me and she's on a ladder, if she's starting to fall, I quickly say, "You're fired." So by the time she hits the ground.
How about catch her?
Oh, man.
You're being an oaf.
Nah,
Don't be an oaf with your lovely wife.
I'm not.
So do you think that we've covered the psychological issues around this? Is there anything else you can think about?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certainly a few other, factors that come into play.
Like what?
Well, expense, going back to that. So let's say if you get over the fact that, you're going to be doing this work and you're taking responsibility for that. So you start a project.
Yeah.
And then you start opening up a wall or something like that. And you find that, there's a surprise there that you're not really equipped to deal with. So you kind of develop the whole, gym membership mind thought, right?
Yeah.
I've got it. It's a Monday problem. I'll deal with it later.
Right.
And you never get to it.
Yeah.
You never go to the gym. You never go back in the basement and work on that project.
Those gyms are making money. You're paying them. And you're never going to the gym.
Talk about passive income. That's fantastic.
I don't want to say the name of the gym, but there's a documentary about the number of people who pay $10 a month and never walk into the gym. And that gym makes all their money that way. Yeah. It's smart. But we're digressing.
But that's, a big part of, why people don't finish their own stuff.
Yeah.
And then why they don't call someone else in to finish it themselves, because then you start to see the expense pile. Yeah. At least in your mind, right? Yeah. So you have to weigh, is it worth the investment to get it done? Yes. Or do I just not care enough to just leave it there and let someone else deal with it when I sell my house?
Yeah. So then what does your wife do in that situation? Like you personally, I know what I do when a job is undone for a long time. Do you know what I do, Mike?
What do you do?
I hire you.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And now that Doug and you are comfortable, because Doug has decided Mike's a good guy, he's an expert, I trust Mike.
So here's the problem. Let me speak personally. Here's the problem with why I don't hire somebody.
Yes.
Because I do that work.
You do.
And I know how I like the work done.
Yes.
And what I expect. Yeah. And a lot of the feedback I get from other homeowners who've had work done is it's not quite the same as what I do. Right. Right. And that's from your mouth to my ears. Yeah. Okay. I'm not just hypothesizing that. No. Yeah. So I'm anal and I expect a good job. So
anal is a psychological term. It's Freudian. And it's like the OCD part.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, I'm a psychologist. Let's educate.
So I'm Freudian about it.
Yes, you are.
And I just, I go in with doubts that people will be able to meet the level of expectation that I have. Yeah. So that prevents me from reaching out for help. Yeah.
And on your end, I totally get it. It is what you do for a living. You're very good at it. I would not want somebody who wasn't as good as I was to come and complete a job, because I would never be happy with it. So I totally get that. I'm just still wondering what Tina's going to do to you long term if she didn't get that basement done. But hey, you could come to me for marriage counseling.
She's not going to do anything. She knows that I have a lot of pressure and expectation on me for doing other people's homes right. Yeah. And probably the last thing I want to do is come home and then walk down to my basement and start all over again at 6 o'clock.
You know why I'm smiling?
Why?
It sounds like you have a good marriage.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, she's not going to be mad at you. She gets it. She's supportive. Yes. You don't need marriage counseling with me for that.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Thank you for coming in and answering these questions.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime.
Yes. Thanks for watching today, guys. This is the Why Did They Do That podcast. I'm so grateful that Mike was here to talk to us about why some men can't finish their own DIY projects.
Thank you very much.
And why they don't want other men to come into their house, or other builders. There could be female builders to complete their projects. If you like what you heard and what you saw, subscribe and share this, please. Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good to see you.